Howdy everyone, it's Dizzy. Remember when I said I probably wasn't going to do a July event tutorial this year? Well, since I missed June, which I'll probably get to in September, I decided to get out a July event tutorial. There's a lot going on in July, so let's get straight into it. Kind of. I actually wanted to start with a little Lioden history lesson here. Let me be a nerd and talk about the July event. Before it was the July event. Before it was known as the Meteor Showers event, the July event was called the Falling Stars event. It's actually pretty similar to the current event with all the same bells and whistles, but with a lot more natural decor than the blatant space aesthetic of the current event. It had plenty of decor you'd mostly expect to see in the Flood Pit, similar to the also retired Floods event. Also like the Floods event, the Falling Stars event retired and had its items put in the Flood Pit. Maybe I'll go over the event in a little more detail in its own video, but I thought it was neat to share. So let's get back to the present day event. As always, let's start with the basics. This event's exclusive currency is Axion cores, shortened to AC. You'll also be collecting meteorite shards. You use meteorite shards in place of energy when exploring a new zone called the Celestial Explorer. These meteorite shards are also what you need to collect to upgrade this month's community bar. This community bar has 3 different tiers. Unlocking each tier will open up something new, but I'll get into that in a little more detail later. For now, let's move on to the Celestial Explorer. Like I mentioned earlier, the Celestial Explorer is somewhere you can explore that uses meteorite shards rather than energy to take steps. Here is where you can also earn Axion cores by defeating the enemies you come across. As of right now, there are 3 different areas to explore. The first is the Draco constellation. This will be available immediately, the other 2 you'll need to work to unlock. You can unlock the next area, the Veil Nebula, by taking 300 steps. When you unlock it for the first time, you'll also be given the Cosmic Horrors achievement. Then that leaves the last area to unlock, the Pegasus constellation. You'll need to defeat 10 boss enemies while exploring the Veil Nebula to unlock it. Again, you'll get an achievement the first time you unlock it, a new neighbor. Now notice that I said boss enemies. Defeating 10 normal enemies isn't the play. Just to encounter a boss enemy, you need to defeat 10 regular enemies. Don't worry, it doesn't have to be in a row. So even if you lose to a normal enemy, you won't have to fight an extra 10 more enemies afterwards. These fights can be a little tough, so if you don't already have Lio modded to help you out, I'd really recommend referring to the official Lioden battling chart, which I'll link in the description below of course. But basically, if it looks like a jellyfish, chances are it'll go down easy to some clawing. Otherwise, kicking or strangling is my go-to. And of course, remember to rest to gain health. Now let's double back to the tiers. If you remember what I said earlier, something new opens with each tier upgrade. When the first tier is reached, it will open up the Draco Demiurge Exchange. This is a shop with a single tier that uses Axion cores as its currency. You can find a lot of cool decors, backgrounds, and applicators here. This is the shop where you'll find high profit items, but I'll go back to that later. Tier 2 will open up the Celestial Raffle. This is sort of like a mini raffle lioness. Every 12 hours, a new lioness will appear that you can attempt to claim for yourself for 5 Axion cores. If the winner doesn't have enough territory to take a lioness in, it will be re-rolled, so keep that in mind. The lioness is generated from a Type 1 lioness or a Type 2 lioness. The Type 1 lioness has a base and eye color that is new to that year, and one marking that is colored as one of the past new July bases. A Type 2 lioness can have any of the prior year's bases, any of the prior year's eye colors, and one ambrosia colored marking. As of 2026, the possible bases for Type 2 are Ambrosia, Celestial, Dawn, Jellyfish, Leonid, Prismatic, Protostar, Side Realm, Skyward, Stratosphere, Sunrise, or Sunset. I can't believe I did that in one take. Kind of. Meanwhile, the eyes can be Axion, Dawn, Draconid, Galaxy, Neutron, Preon, Starshine, Sunglow, or Stellar. That's a lot, but finally that brings us to the last thing that the community bar unlocks. Tier 3 will open up the Celestial Portal. Here you can send lions to be deleted. With each lion, you can get 30% energy, 30 silver beetles, 3% impression, or XP. The experience will be calculated by multiplying your king's level times 20. You can send away 44 lionesses per rollover, and remember, this will delete your lionesses. Make sure you're alright with doing that before anything. On that note, let's get back to shopping. The Draco Demiurge Exchange isn't the only shop that opens during this event. There's also the Veil Nebula Exchange and the Pegasus Exchange. The Veil Nebula Exchange is opened by defeating 5 boss enemies in the Veil Nebula. When this shop opens, it'll have plenty of decor and marking applicators. To unlock the Pegasus Exchange, you'll need to defeat 5 boss enemies in the Pegasus constellation. This shop will have plenty of decors, 2 main applicators, and the Caballus marking applicator. Everything in these 2 shops can be bought using Axion cores, unlike the last shop we have to visit. Hefnut's Memories is the last shop and it uses silver beetles as its currency. Hefnut's shop also doesn't open by unlocking tiers. Instead, the shop is community built. Everyone needs to come together together and donate 404,404 resources, that being silver beetles or crafting materials. And this temple is where you'll be able to buy the storyline rewards should there be something in another ending that you couldn't get. Speaking of which, that brings us to the storyline rewards. This is a pretty big story and I'm going to have to spoil stuff, I fear. If you don't want to hear that, jump to this timestamp and I'll see you when we talk about the profitable items you should collect. Alright, I think they've had enough time, so let's continue on. For this storyline, there are 6 novels with 3 different character paths you can follow. However, there are a lot of different rewards that you get throughout the storyline. I'm not going to go over it all since we'll be here all day. Instead, I'm going to skip to the last rewards. In the end, you'll be granted with a new marking applicator. Which kind of applicator you get will depend on who you side for in the last novel. The color changes every year, so I can't tell you exactly which one you'll get, unfortunately. Ending novel 6 grant you an achievement and title depending on what ending you got. I'm not going to read them all individually since that'd probably be a bit boring, but here they are on screen for anyone that wants to know. That should be it with the storyline and we can continue on to making a profit. In terms of items to buy this month, it's mostly applicators. Like in March, the best applicator to buy for reselling are the ones that are factors for combo bases. For July, those are the Curse of the Divine and the Heavenly Serenity base applicators, which you can find in the Draco Demiurge exchange. Editing Tiz here. So right after I finished recording this, they released an update that added 3 new combo bases. One of the combo bases, Cyanotic, has Demiurge and Astral as one of its factors, so basically that means that Heavenly Serenity, Curse of Divine, and Astral Flare and Touch of Demiurge are all worth picking up. Honestly, if you're in 2026, I'd suggest focusing on Astral Flare and Touch of Demiurge, since Cyanotic is a new base, so there's obviously going to be more hype for it. Alright, that's all I wanted to add, let's get back into it. It's also a good idea to stock up on some monkey business craftable bases. There are bases that you can only craft during July, that being Howlite, Meteorite, Moonstone, and Labradorite. Pretty sure I also missed another one. I probably missed another one, but I think those are the only ones that really matter. These are made out of the gems of the same name, and all but Howlite are factors for combo bases. And the last base that you should go for is Interstellar. This is a very rare drop that you can only find by exploring during this month. You can also get the space applicator through the Journey to Retribution adventure, which you should also pick up in the adventure tab since that's only available to be started in July. Keep in mind that you can only do Journey to Retribution once. If you've already completed it, you can't start it again this year. Sorry. Oh, and 2 more things. Like the July exclusive craftable bases, there are 2 combo bases that you can only breed during July. Constellation and Pulsar. Constellation is especially sought after. If you really want to gamble coming from a combo base breeder, gamble. Breed Logen and you could sell your Constellation or Pulsar club for a solid amount of GB, if you choose to do so. Finally, I wanted to say again to remember to take the Journey to Retribution adventure. It's worth it. And I also wanted to say that I won't have a video on the adventure up anytime soon. I'm going to be way too busy to make such a big video like that. But I will see you guys next time for August, and yeah, I think that's about it. I'll see you in the next one.